Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm trying out one of the latest drugstore concealer by Physicians Formula. You guys know how much I enjoy some of their products, especially for all the quality at the drugstore prices. So it's really a win-win situation and a great deal altogether. And Physicians Formula recently came out with their Butter Glow Concealer. Now, this is another one in their range of Butter Glows, where the design, if you ask me, is very similar to the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. It has a sponge applicator and it looks like a very similar packaging as well. But who am I to compare if the product is good? So let's just get into it. Now this retails for approximately 13 Canadian dollars and comes in about 6 shades. So they aren't very diversified shades, but an okay range to start with. Now it has 5.6 ml of product. And if we see the packaging, it has a doe foot applicator inside and also a sponge at the top that I was previously talking about. So in reality, it is actually dual-ended, and the shade that I have with me here is called medium to tan. Now this is the doe foot applicator, and then we have the sponge on the top, which we can use as a beauty blender. Now let's just test the coverage of this product on the back of my hand. So I'm going to take very little of this medium to tan shade and I'm going to apply it right behind my hand, and that's the shade. Now looking at the product and the coverage on the back of my hand, we have to talk about it before we go on the face. So this one seems to be medium coverage and it seems to be very creamy and very comfortable to wear. I don't think this is becoming very drying, which is great. And it also gives us a little bit leeway when we're actually applying it on the face, because we can take some time to actually apply it to where we want to. Now, it definitely does not feel like a medium to tan shade. And if this is going to be the shade range, I would suggest you to go a shade darker if you aren't testing the product in a store. Now, since the packaging comes with a sponge and an applicator, I will not be using my beauty blender, but will apply using this little sponge here, so we can really test out the packaging as well as the product today. Now this product here, like all the Butter Glow products, includes the Muru Muru butter, which is supposed to be moisturizing for the skin, but also leave it a little bit soft and comfortable to wear. So without further ado, let's apply this on the face. Now I did start with a little bit extra because I did not realize how much was the doe foot applicator really pulling up of the product. Unfortunately, it is a little bit too much. I may have to reduce that a little bit with this little sponge, but that is the reason why I'm not wetting this down. And let's start to use the sponge here. Now that I've applied the product, I do want to do a quick close-up and show you exactly where the product is sitting. I do feel that the product is very easily blendable. I love that part. It's also a shade which is lighter than what I normally would go for a concealer, but I do not mind it. It does brighten up under my eyes. It does have a grayish tone, which is not something you would expect for a medium to tan shade. So that's a bummer. But I will finish up my face and tell you about how the powder sits on top of it very soon. So see you there. Alright, so now that I have my powder on and everything else on my face ready, I do have to talk about creasing as well, because that's one of the most important things for me for a concealer. I definitely felt like this concealer wasn't patchy at all. It was very creamy. It stayed very creamy until I did have to go in and put on some powder. I did use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, which works great with any concealer. And I think this concealer is definitely a thumbs up. I did not see any creasing until I had put my powder on, which is great because I don't like overly drying concealers, and this is not one of those. Now obviously the shade is a little bit light for me, but it does bring in the brightness that I expect my concealer to give. It does seem to have very small illuminating minerals, which I did read was in the product, which I don't mind at all because it starts to brighten my face, especially on my T-zone and also under my eyes. I am loving the look of this, so that is a big thumbs up. So here are my final thoughts, and I think it's pretty obvious where I'm going with this. I do love the quality of this product, especially for the low cost that it comes with. Also, I will continue to use it. I don't mind the sponge at the top at all. I actually kind of like it, not that I expected to. I did not have to wet it, yet it was very easy to use it, especially for smoothing out the product. The product is very creamy, so go less and then build it up as I would recommend. I definitely suggest this product for everybody who wants to brighten their under eyes. The only caveat there being is that always go for a shade darker if you want the right shade. If you want something extra bright, go in for the exact shade that you would expect. For me, it was medium to tan, and I think I'll continue to use this one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for my review of the Muru Muru Butter Concealer from Physicians Formula, and their range is the Butter Glow Concealer. Now, if you like this review, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video next week. But until then, you take care, love yourself, and stay brightened. Bye.